can I help one just tonight? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma Jasper Divine. I'm here to give you a word and some news on tonight. First, we're going to start with massive shooting in Texas. So the mall shooting, in Texas, leave 9 dead, including the gunman was dead. So the government opened a fire in a crowd, at the mall outside Dallas on Saturday, killing at least 8 people and injured at least seven before the police officer had killed the gunman himself. So the authorities said turning a busy afternoon of shopping into a tragedy scene. So we just constantly keep on having all this massive shooting. So the chief of the police of Texas did not identify the gunman at that time, but said the person act alone. So they said he did act alone. So the federal law enforcement officer identified the gunman as Makiko. He was 33 years old. 7 people, including the gunman, were pronounced dead at the mall. Now, officer couldn't account for at least 9 people. They counted at least 9 people were transported to the hospital, but more victims may have been taken in private vehicle in the island for the chief Jonathan. Two two of them was dead later. So 3 was in critical condition. And 4 in stable condition. So we have another mass shooting. And pretty much every time you have these mass shooting, there's always someone with mental health. At shooting at the mall in Texas near Dallas. He gunned down so many people and so much of a short period of time because it was a powerful weapon. So many people in a short period of time because the assault weapon killed 9 people. He killed that many people in a short period of time when you have this kind of powerful gun. So I don't know what is going on through someone's mind to keep on just go around and just shoot someone. The way we see things is like in a movie. Now, so because of their mental health, you know, I guess they're doing it because I guess they don't know what they're doing. But I advise anyone that y'all know in a family household have mental health. Because this situation really has to be taken care of, and they really gonna need help. Because if it's in their minds to just pick up a gun and just shoot someone, if anyone that have those problems and have a gun, they should be checked out. And then they go and buy these guns out in a store, either buying it from someone trafficking guns. Now we can't stop. We cannot stop this shooting. All we can do is create this policy that will work. You know, that will stick. Sell less guns in a store. That way, you have less guns on the street. This is all we can do. Because we don't know when the next time, someone is going to strike and shoot. Create a policy. Then turn it over, to GOP or Congress. That's all I could do is constantly curate this policy. Then it get turned over to Republicans or either Congress. And they put the bill of the law together. Now first I want to give my condolences, you know, to the family who lost anyone in this terrible tragedy. I just got to keep on praying, so because it's just so many people is getting killed and so many. And every time it always somebody with mental health is doing this crime. So lost anyone in this terrible tragedy, I give my deepest sympathy, to all, to family. So I banned assault weapon, and I did before and before, but I will keep on banning into banning these assault weapons until the assault weapons get off the streets. So I create a new law that can be introduced in either chamber or Congress, by a senator or representative that who sponsor it. Now once a bill is introduced, it is assigned, to a committee whose member will research, discuss it, and make changes to the bill. The bill is then put before that champion to be voted on. So this is a process. You know, we can't really stop these guns. We can't really stop this massive shooting. We don't know when, who gonna shoot what, when we cannot stop it. All we can do is constantly put these policies together, and try to stop, selling these guns. So once a bill are created, it become a law by Congress. So my next step is to ban all stores enforcement to stop selling assault weapons and guns under age. So us leaders, just like I said before, we don't know when a sick person gonna strike again. Shoot. All we can do is keep creating policy that will work, and where they'll stop, selling guns in the stores, and try to stop this trafficking, guns, because if they stop selling them in the stores and then they still getting hold to them, they getting hold to them out in the street, so assault weapon, gun laws, prohibit all assault weapons to not be used, one, to purchase a gun, the age should be 20 years old. Two, enforce a background check. For mental health. You're gonna check if they ever had a charge, of a crime. Four, we're gonna check for gun trafficking. Cause that's the main thing. They sell them in the stores and they selling trafficking out on the street. So I banned assault weapon. I banned all stores to stop selling guns underage and stop selling assault weapons. You know, and you have to make sure you proceed background check. That way we can catch a lot of these mental health that person these guns. So I ban all stores to stop selling assault weapons and start selling guns underage, please. Please, cause we trying to stop all this shit. So the less guns we can sell, it's the less guns that we out on the street. That's the best. That's the best we can do. Because this is just too much killing, and if we can just stop selling these weapons, stop selling these guns to underage, person, we can kind of slack up on the gun violence. So I do have a word on tonight also. It's gonna come from also we're gonna come from Psalms 27. Fearless, wait on the Lord. Now this gonna come from David. So David had wrote this song, Psalm 27. Now David did not have he didn't have no fear. He had a little fear, I guess, and he really had no fear with Saul. Because he could have killed Saul with his bare hands. You remember he beat that giant down and he took with his bare hands and took that giant head off. So he only was running from Saul, so he won't hurt Saul. So he put all his confidence in God. When he had to fight giants, he had confidence in himself to fight those big old giants. He had confidence in God. So David had many enemies, chasing him at one time or another. Now, he was no stranger, to danger, because he was running half of his life from Saul, fighting battles left from right, But he also knew that God was powerful and the knowledge was enough, to to twiddle his plan, to other